Good morning, lovelies. This is Linda coming from American Muslim in America. Today is Ramadan still. I thought I would start this off by explaining how I became a Muslim, how I converted from being a wild Christian to a conservative Muslim. I'm actually still kind of a crazy Muslim too. I have my moments. I'm not always prim and proper. Uh, so when I was going back to school in 2010, right after we were getting settled back in from the flood of 2008. And if you don't know, Cedar Rapids had a historic flood in 2008, which was life-changing, if you want to call it that. A lot of people lost a lot. We, alhamdulillah, didn't lose as much as we could have. I mean, we still have our family home. We still have lives. What I had done was take a good look at myself. And I thought, well, I'm going to go back to school. Everybody keeps telling me that either I should go back to school or do something. So I went and enrolled in 2010 after we got settled back into our home. I started really getting into the idea of going back to school. Believe it or not, I was going back to school I thought, religion is starting to become a real big part of my life. And I said, why don't I take religious studies? I was involved at the church that we belonged to that helped us through the flood of '08. I also was thinking that maybe I wanted to become a minister of some sort. Thinking that I could become a minister. Isn't that crazy? Now I'm a Muslim. I had started taking my classes. I was taking Intro to Eastern Religion. I took a couple of communication classes, writing classes, and I took a class that I thought was very interesting that I was just kind of curious about, but I was just going to take it as a class. I didn't realize that being in the religious class, you would be taking Intro to Islam. And I started to I signed up for it. There was an opening and I decided to take it. And I think that's where I got my enlightenment. That Islam was not what they were portraying or what they were showing on TV. But I was starting to see some similarities between Islam and Christianity. Now, I was also studying Eastern religions. I was studying Buddhism, Hindu, Judaism. I was studying all of those in the intro. I mean, the Eastern religious classes. Nothing clicked on those. I mean, the Buddhism, the peacefulness, the meditation, that kind of thing, seemed all right. I got enjoyment out of it. Even started, learning about the Old Testaments. That I really was enjoying. The Old Testaments of, because the Orthodox Christians and the Orthodox Jews went with, and they still do, go with the Old Testament of the Bible, the old version of the Bible, if you want to call it that. Well, then, like I said, I got needing some help. Well, I take the bus. And while I was on the bus, I befriended 2 Muslim girls. One, she was an American, beautiful soul. I'm still friends with her today. Her name was Myrna. And then I do still have contact on Facebook with another sister that was here, Muslim sister, that was basically what I would consider a foreign exchange student. She was here from Egypt. And I was so curious. I was like, can I pick your brain to both of these girls, because being in my class and everything, And we talked a couple of times, and I thought their headscarves, their hijabs, were the most beautiful things that I've ever seen. One was wearing one that was like a Chanel headscarf. I'm thinking, wow, this is not what I see in the, on TV, and this is not what I'm, of course, also, you don't really notice people that much, Also, going back to right after the flood of '08, there was a group from the Islamic Center of Cedar Rapids that came by, and they gave my mom and dad a blanket. I wasn't there because I was tending to my son, who was still, he was in 5th grade, so he was probably about 10. And we were out in Marion. We had to commute back and forth from Marion to the house to do some work or do business. We had a free FEMA trailer out in Marion, which is like a suburb of Cedar Rapids. It's another town, but I call it a suburb because you got different anyways, sorry, rambling a little bit. Haven't had coffee yet this morning. But back to my story of my conversion. Like I said, I started studying with the girl from Egypt and started really becoming really close with her. And she was, she was like, well, there's do you need help with any other classes? I was like, yeah, I could use a study group. I'm taking writing and I'm taking communications, and I would like to expand my horizons. Well, one of the study groups she was invited me to come to was in the library, in one of the study rooms. They'd come and they would, help each other out on whatever assignments they were working on. Well, I was there. There's a couple of gentlemen from Africa there. There was a couple of women from all over. It was a diverse group. The gentleman one of them I started talking to a lot more. Very handsome young man. Very handsome man, I should say. And he was from him and his friend were from a country called Mali, which is in West Africa. And, I started talking to them more and more, and come to find out they're Muslim too. And, I know the academic part of Islam, but I wasn't too familiar on rules and whatnot, because I wasn't Muslim yet. And it was really something that struck with me. These gentlemen that I met these men that I had met were very polite, very courteous. They would, if they were going to go get something to drink, would you like something? Oh, no, I don't have any money. Oh, no, don't worry about it. That kind of thing. Or if, we all met at the cafeteria to do some studying, they would excuse themselves at certain times of the day. I thought they were going to class, but they were also going to pray. And I thought, well, that's unique because Kirkwood had set up a special area for them to go and pray, especially if they couldn't go to the mosque. And, the more and more I hung out with the men, I developed a kind of a relationship type interest in one of them. But he told me, no, I can't, Muslims don't date. And then he also proceeded to say that he was planning to marry a girl that he loved from back home in Mali. And I was like, oh, that's nice, so nice, but kind of broke my heart a little bit. He goes, but I have this friend that I would like to introduce you to. He's looking for a serious relationship, though. He's looking for a wife. And I was like, okay. I don't know about that part yet. That, I'm just meeting someone. I'm not sure if I can look at them and say, I want to get married, but, all right. He showed me some pictures and he said, I can have him come and meet us. He goes to the University of Iowa. I can have him meet you or have him come here, with one of our study groups. And I said, all right. So his name was Omar. And he was beautiful. I thought he was... Sorry, my face is looking a little rough this morning. He was beautiful in my eyes. He was really handsome, and I thought, oh, this is not gonna go well.